Hey y'all, how's everybody doing? Alright, time for another reading. See what's going on in the collective and see what, the divine wants to come out in the reading, right? So let's see what's going on. The phone, by the way, it's attached to the table, so if it moves, it's because the table's moving. Alright. Well, come back here. And we'll see what's going to come out. What is the message? And what do you need the collective to know or to hear? Let's see what the cards say. Ooh, at the bottom we have 9 of Cups upright. 6 of Swords upright, in the upright position. Okay. Be aware of what you take with you when you leave. Transition, leaving behind, and moving on. We have the Queen of Wands upright. You can always call on your natural talent. Okay? Courage, determination, passion, and joy. If you find something that you're passionate about, it's not really work because you love it. You know what I mean? It's like fun to you. So that's what you really want to make sure that you have. Okay, we have the Empress reversed. Okay, what do you want to express? And the Empress reversed is stagnation, infertility, lack, or selfishness. So like if say you're starting a business or something like that, that would mean that you're having a blockage or something's in the way. Or this could be someone that's, attempting to cause that to you. See? All right, the Devil reversed. Okay? What beliefs keep you in a cage? All right, now the Devil reversed is, signifying freedom, release, detachment, simplicity. All right, we have the 3 of Pentacles upright. So accept help when you need it. Teamwork, collaboration, group success. All right, and of course the 9 of Cups. It's everything turns out well. Enjoy your success. Satisfaction, luxury, comfort, emotional stability. All right, so transition. Leaving behind, moving on. Courage, determination, passion, and joy. Like moving on, courage, joy, leaving behind perhaps the lack or the stagnation or infertility, moving to freedom and teamwork, collaboration, group success. All right, let's see what else we get here. Let's do these. The clarifying life situations. See what these cards have. See, it is nice to have, different decks that you can, go through and get different, meanings from. Just extends it out more, so you get more information. All right, what else does the collective need to know? I mean, these, that was, a good reading, to move on from, stagnation or lack or infertility, which is, like say you're, if it isn't a business, but something you're working on. You want it to be, fertile or fertile ground. All right, what do we have here? At the bottom, we have release burdens. Embrace clarity and let go of what no longer serves you, allowing new insights to guide your path. Okay? All right, what do we have here? Okay, Fantasyland. make sure everyone involved is being realistic and on the same page. Sounds like there might be someone, around that's not being realistic. Honest echoes. Listen to the whispers of your heart, for you know the whole truth. And the truth is found in the heart, so you definitely want your heart chakra, healed. Roots of success. Secure your foundation, fostering growth and stability for a thriving journey ahead. Resurrection. Okay? Shake off the past and rise again. Reinvent yourself, and you will rise up from the ashes even more powerful, like a rising phoenix. All right? See, this is what this reading's about. Plan wisely. Okay? Cultivate success through meticulous research and strategic plotting. Your foresight will unveil new paths. All right. It's like excellent. You know what I mean? But yeah, releasing burdens. Okay, let's see what we get from the Moonology deck. These have to allow. Let's scoot back. Okay, what do we have here, Spirit? What does collective need to do? This is what you need to release. Remember this one? Release burdens. What you need to release. Okay. Time to breathe out. Okay, that's the disseminating moon. Have faith in your dreams. All right, and that is the waxing crescent moon. Prosperity lies ahead, and that is the new moon in Taurus. Adjustments are required. Third quarter moon. All right. Again, the bottom one, what do you need released? And that's the waning moon. So, yeah, that's great. So, like a releasing of the past, letting go and moving forward, transitioning, okay? And being, it's Six of Swords, it says be aware of what you take with you when you leave. All right? So, that's what you need to keep in mind. And, accept help when you need it. Teamwork, collaboration, group success, plan wisely. Roots of success. Notice, ones that are around that may be in fantasy land and not, all on the same page. And take time to breathe out, to relax, and make sure you're not burnt out. Okay? And you can rise up like a phoenix. Isn't that the whole point? That way, that's part of the ascension. So, sky's the limit, right? You hold the world in your hand. The things that you can do, but it's what you can do when you move with God, the true God, and not when people are out there to do things to trick people, MK Ultra them, do all these other kind of things. And look, even though people do things and they do some really bad, wicked things, they still have to pay for what they've done so that they learn the lessons that they're supposed to learn. We come to Earth to learn. And to move on, you want to learn what you need to learn instead of like going backwards, the wrong way. So, but it's wise to take heed because, God can punish you in order to wake you up in order to get you on the straight and narrow path. It's called like course correction. So, it's definitely a choice. But if you don't choose, then you can end up going through it in a very rough fashion. And it's a lot better to take care of things before it gets to that point, so that it can, literally save you. This is about saving your soul so that your soul is not destroyed and you end up somewhere trapped. Like they showed that, I believe it was Superman, they put him in a square. Think outside the box. They put him in a box, Saturn. That's something to kind of keep in mind. But because if you're out there trying to put someone else in a box or in a cage of some sort, of any kind, you're literally putting yourself in it. You just can't see that. But there's universal law, and it's it's going to return whatever it is that you put out there. So if you're out there trying to corral everyone and put them in boxes and tell them how they're supposed to live, you're not allowing them to live as their will. And you get in spiritual trouble for that, which it turns into spiritual trouble, and then it turns into physical trouble. It's like the warning's there, and if you're not heeding it, what can anybody do? It's like you were warned and you didn't pay attention. But then you're going to go through things that are going to wake you up to help you change, And the ones that fight it harder, it's a purification. It's a purification of everything on earth, so that there is no evil, so that people aren't harmed, so that animals aren't harmed. You have people that are cruel to animals, cruel to people. They have no compassion. Well, that's, that can't be allowed, because if they hurt animals, they move to people. You see the correlation there, and that's known pretty much. It's the negativity that you absorb with that. So, when you say that you can't live without meat, but have you ever lived without meat? Do you have any idea how healing it is, right? You have to make adjustments and changes and whatnot, but it's, you don't need as much protein as you actually think. The things we need more tend to be things that we're kind of skipping out on. It's like salt and, our foods that give us electrolytes. We end up dehydrated a lot, so you want to be careful about that, and make sure your water's clean, like filtered. Bottled water is not clean. If you test all the bottled water, it's rare to find it when it's actually clean. So that's something to keep in mind. When they say it's alkaline water or this kind of water, and you test it and it turns out, it's not true. So you have to watch out for that. There are people and companies that will lie. So you want to find the ones that are honest, and stay away from the ones that the almighty dollar is the most important, because life is more important than money, isn't it? If you put money before other people's lives, then someone's going to do that with you. Something to think about. All right, y'all. Take care. God bless.